This is Furious Friday. The one that was posted has become private because of things, and I guess this is my Furious Friday remake since I was really upset with the other one. And my hope is that you enjoy doing what you do, that you love what you're doing, that there's a reason why you wake up and you do the things you do. There should always be a purpose. What I've come to realize is that you know what? If you don't like what you are doing, you have to make changes. And I'm realizing that now. Because if you don't make changes, you're going to still be stuck in the same place. And I think the 2013, it was June. I went to New York because I felt stuck in a rut. I hated my job. I was thinking of death and doing bad things to myself. And we saw this psychic by chance, Julie. I don't know where she lived. It was in her house or whatever. And she said to me, I can't read anything. These cards won't tell me anything. I'm like, whatever. And she's like, no, this job that you have is terrible. You need to leave. And I'm like, what? She's like, no, you have to leave your job now. You have 6 months to leave it. If you don't, you will be stuck in this same rut and you will hate your life and everything's bad. I can't get a reading on anything because this place is so toxic. And I was like, oh, well, I work at a job. I love my job. It pays well. And she's like, no. I see money issues. I see all this stuff. And I'm like, no, everything's great. Everything's great. And then slowly I was like, you don't see anything? And she's like, no, I don't see any future for you if you stay at this job. And it was June. So July, August, September, October, November, December. What's the 6th? Or was it? No, 3 months. She said 3 months. Sorry, she said 3 months. I had to get out. And what's funny is I had applied for Target and I hadn't heard anything. And I ended up getting Target, like, called or whatever. And they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I was thinking about going back to school. Because as soon as I got back from New York, I was talking to supervisors, managers saying, could I do school? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, you can't do school. You have to be here during this time, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? So I started looking at stuff and I applied at MATC, put it in. And the one thing I hate is that I wasn't able to give them my transcript from Bonn University. That's the one thing I hate. But they looked at it and they're like, okay, sure. Once Target started, I was like, well, when can I go back to school? They're like, after your 90 days, whatever. So come June, I reapplied for MATC. I don't know why I reapplied. Because they already said you're accepted, dummy. And I talked to them and they're like, well, only 13 credits could transfer. And I was like, what? No. And then I talked to this other guy and I was like, well, what can I do? And he said, let me see. He looked it up. He was like, oh, well, we can use your GRs from this school. We can use your GRs from UWM. We can use it from this, blah, 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 blah. I was like, sweet. So all my GERs were taken care of. I didn't have to worry. And from there, I started, and you're talking started from the bottom, the very bottom, in terms of TV, what it was expected. I had no idea how to wrap cables. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to graduate this semester. What am I going to do? And I'm in between that place of I hate everything to I have to go and do something. And I have to make sure that I have momentum and motivation. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Make sure that you keep up your momentum, your motivation. Don't let anybody stop you. And furthermore, if you have to choose between something that you enjoy doing and something that it pays the bills, I want you to seriously look at both sides of it. Not just say, well, this pays the bills, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to do something that pays the bills, make sure you're doing something on the side that makes you happy. But if something on the side makes you happy and pays your bills, then I would say go towards that than just paying bills. Because honestly, after what I did with that one job, no, I can't do that again. Anyway, talk to you later. Adios.